Well, welcome everyone to another incredible 30 Goals presentation. We have Fabiana Casella, who's been very, very important to the 30 Goals Challenge movement. She has shared a lot of her stories. She's based in Argentina, and she's very passionate. And one of the great things about Fabiana is every time I ask her to do something, even though she doesn't think she can or she's a little reluctant, she ends up doing it anyway, which means that she's stepping out of her comfort zone, and she's always brilliant. So she's she is a blessed mother of two children. She teaches English language teaching. She's has her education also in methodology, literature, history, psychology. She's a connected educator. She got a bachelor's degree in teaching English as a foreign language, and she has been working at the same school since 1987. Um, she is also she spent some time in the U.S. and taught high school and middle school Spanish, and now she's going to inspire you with the great things she does with her students. So it's all you, Fabiana.
Yes, I'm here. I didn't run away. I'm here. Well, hello everyone. I'm so happy and how can I say it? I'm really happy to be here. It was a real honor for me to get this invitation. I didn't see that coming. Um, I never expected to be presenting in this way, and I know that most of the people that presented along these days, most of them said that they were honored to have been invited by Shelley to be in this conference. One of the key points when we joined the 30 Goal Challenge is to, or the motives or the reasons why we're here is that we like to share and we like to build partnership, and that's what we built all along these years or these months. I feel really grateful and thankful, and there aren't many words in English that I can say from what I achieved along this past, let's say, 3 years. If we start counting 2012, 13, and when I joined the 30 Goal Challenge, why and how this happened. Let me show you one of the slides. Am I doing well with the slides? Because I don't know the...
They look great.
Perfect. Well, I will start like more or less everybody started. It was back like 2-3 years ago that I came back to Argentina together with my family in 2008. I had a baby. In those times, I had a baby in the States, and my son was 12 years old, and I decided not to teach for some time, and because I was just adjusting, all of us to this new life here in our home country after being like 7 years in the States teaching at different levels. So I went there as a cultural exchange teacher, but we went. It wasn't a real cultural exchange. I got part of the society. We adapted really, really well, and I had the chance to interact with people from all over the world, honestly, and people from Asia, Africa, most of the continents, and Europe too, of course. I was asked to be flexible, adaptable, knowledgeable, competent, empathetic, patient, and I said, well, this is a long list. That was back in the beginning of 2001, 2, 3, and I stayed there up to 2008. When I came back to Argentina, the situation here was different. We came back to our house, and I didn't teach for some time. I already told you about that. And when I went back to school, where I been teaching before we left, everybody was so happy to see me, of course. And well, they could not be, I don't know why I said of course, but they were all happy to see each other because I left, because I had this chance to go somewhere and teach somewhere, work and live in a different way. And we had to come back for different reasons. And there was a time that it was this passion and this everything was wonderful, but then I went into sort of depression, like most of the people, and I didn't realize what was going on with me. Everything was so negative. I said, well, um, who am I? Am I the international teacher? Am I Miss Casella in the States? Am I Fabiana here? Or who am I? What am I doing? And I was over 40 years old in those times. And I said, with a baby and with a little son, and with all this experience I got in the States, what am I going to do with all this? And well, I'm a Spanish speaker teaching English as a foreign language. So nobody wants these people, here. I mean, everybody teaches English, or most of the teachers that teach English are Spanish speakers. So there is this kind of controversy. And I said, well, okay, I got the job again. I started teaching. Most of my classes were really good, and children were nice, and children are nice at the school that I teach now, of course, and I have been teaching all these years. And I said, yes, but I'm missing something. I'm missing something. I don't know what I'm doing. There is a moment that I have to share. I want to share my cultural awareness. I've been in touch with people from different countries, religions, and ways of thinking and customs. And well, now I'm here. I'm back here in Argentina. I was appointed global ambassador. I don't know if you can see the slides because of the speed of internet right now. I was appointed an exchange educator, different titles, and I said, well, now I'm in Argentina and I'm a simple teacher again. Yes, Fabiana, this is you. This is where you were born, and come down to earth. And I said, well, I don't want to be. I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this because I really like my job I taught Spanish and ESOL, so I was in contact with different types of non-English speakers, and they really. I felt really well. I felt that was the best of my jobs. That was the best because. And I couldn't find this here because nobody talks English here, and I got used to talking English all the time. And I said, well, I need to do something. I need to start connecting with someone that does the same as I did, or used to do it as I want to do. I didn't really know where to go. One of my friends told me, why don't you go online and look for communities? And an angel put me in the hands of, no, it's not an angel, led me to Shelley, and she immediately said hello to me, and she invited me to join the 30 Goals Challenge for Educators. And from then on, I started to see things differently, because I said, well, I'm not talking in English or interacting in English with everybody here in Buenos Aires, but at least I'm doing that online. So my second life was online. And even though we didn't talk, through voice, we talked, we chat, we used to chat with most of the teachers there, and they were already blogging, and Shelley kind of tell me, yes, you need to blog. You need to keep on blogging. People read what you say. I said, no. I mean, who wants to read whatever I'm writing? I mean, I heard this before. I heard this today. I heard this yesterday. Some other teachers thought the same. No, who's going to be? And I'm not talking about like an EFL teacher and an English as a foreign language teacher. I heard this from some other big names that were in this conference uh, over these days. And I said, who's going to be interested in whatever I'm saying? There is always someone interested. And look at all the names here. So I have on my screen. And I started reading and I started writing. I'm very bad at writing in English and in Spanish. And because I was told that by one of my teachers in high school and teachers training college, so I couldn't write. And I said, well, I'm going to write whatever I think, and I will try to do the best I can. So I started reading and answering different blog posts. Shelley invited us with the goals, and I tried to cover some of the goals, and that was my connection to the outside world, to the world. I felt I was coming back to my previous life, but now it was a virtual life. Then I came across Sylvia, and if her blog, I mean, the description of her life, it was so fascinating. And so she's a mother of four, and she's Irish, and she's living in Greece, and that was great. And Hannah, and then Cecilia Lemos, when she said that I read one of her blogs posts, and she said, I'm not only a teacher, you're not a teacher only, you're more than that. And she gave me a lot of inspiration. Well, I mentioned Hannah before. Every time Hannah wrote something, she's from Czech Republic, and she whatever she said, I mean, what am I reading? Am I reading something that I wrote or she wrote? I mean, we shared lots of the same. We have the same thoughts. Then there's Jennifer Verschoor, who taught me lots of things, and she was one of my teachers here. I mean, virtual tutors. Maria Bosa from Córdoba here in Argentina, and she was one of the first ones to say hello to me in both languages, and she was wonderful. And then we have, I got in touch with Rose from Brazil, Theodora from Greece, Roseli, Sarah from Brazil too, Deborah from Argentina, Priscilla, Teresa from Brazil, both of them, and Marjorie Rosenberg. And we have a group that we call Caring and Sharing, and we talk almost every day about ourselves, and we share what we do and how we feel, and I really feel supported, and I try to support the rest of my colleagues. Why am I showing this? Because I started blogging and I really didn't know what to blog about, and so I blogged. I wrote a little bit about everything, my experiences in class, my goals, connected of course with whatever I did in class, and I didn't have any success in my student blogging. They were reluctant. They have been reluctant to blog because their lives go around their cell phones. They don't want to write. They want to speak only, but on chat. One of my, let's say, starting points was here on Twitter, where Shelley started following me. I opened the account, and she started following me immediately after and that really surprised me because, and I said, well, am I followed by someone who knows a lot? And then I said, I mean, it gives you a lot of support, and psychologically helps you a lot. It's not that I feel that I cannot do things. Sometimes I know my limitations, and I, I don't have many degrees in anything, and I've only been here in Argentina and taught in the United States. It's not that I taught everywhere and I traveled the world showing what I did, because I go to school, teach, and then I come back home. There isn't much more than that. And that really surprised me. She was really surprised with this project I did with my students about underage drinking. Uh, that was a really nice class. My students supported me, and they were really, really, um, how can I say that? They answered every question I asked. They just worked. I didn't have to do much effort in making them work, and they were not doing that for a grade. I mean, they liked it. You can see the faces, and so I showed Vicky Laura's this picture of the girls with the Canadian flag, and I went to the other slide, and the, the school I work at is called Canada School, and they sang the Canadian anthem for the different celebrations. And on July 1st, we make presentations about Canada, and I showed it to her, and Vicky Laura was fascinated, and she said, "Oh, these kids are wonderful." Well, because this is part of the cultural exchange we try to promote at school also. Um, then when all this is connected with whatever I was saying before, that this 30 Goal Challenge community gave me lots of quotes, and I started to recollect quotations from everybody, things that people say. These are really new, because I mean, if you watched some of the presentations over this conference, maybe you heard Rose Bart talking about that we teachers are always under construction, and then I loved what Judy Wong said about that we educators are always under construction, and we're going to be like that until we die. That's what she said, until I die. And at the beginning of the conference, Shelley talked about being goal-minded, and I kind of lost that. I had lost my goals because I was living a new life here. I had to renew my life or redo my life, like Lisa Dabbs said the other day, that she had to reinvent herself. And so I came to my mind, I mean, what's going on here? So everybody has to reinvent themselves, or we have to reinvent ourselves every day. Yes, we do. And every time we need it, as Cecilia Lemos mentioned before, in order not to be burnt out. And I was kind of burnt out, and I think, but I didn't realize either. Something else I wanted to share with you was that although I had been successful this past year, this year, school year, I had some controversies, or I had some kind of negativity from I don't know who at school. And when I heard Nikki Robertson saying haters are gonna hate, it really opened my mind, and I said, that's why. Because they are jealous of maybe what I am doing. But I'm doing, I mean, whatever I'm doing, it's because I feel good, and I see the happiness in my students' faces. I don't want sad students and bored students. I want them to, I teach with my heart and soul, and that doesn't come from anywhere. else, because I'm old enough not to copy anyone. And this is all we did. So all I did, and I'm showing you, was with my heart and soul. And I see the faces, and I see them happy. Some of them are not that happy sometimes because they are teenagers. So sometimes you cannot please everyone. And this is our project with Theodora and that group we had, Hannah, Cristina Montero from Portugal, and Theodora from Greece. And then this is what I sometimes make.
Georgia from Greece as well. I'm sorry I'm interrupting you.
Yes, Georgia, yeah. Yes. And yeah, there were like 2 or 3 from Greece and me, and well, it's hard work, Mariana, you know, it's a lot of work. Well, I don't want to be that long. I'm just showing what I'm doing with my students, and I have to thank you so many people that I always read what Edutopia or what Angela Myers said when I was invited to, she was at one of the keynotes for the future of education, where Shelley invited me for the first time to present. And these are my students in action. So all these ideas come to my mind because I have motivation, and motivation comes from this group. One of the last things I wanted to do, and that's why I was kind of criticized this year, was Mr. Skype, but here internet connections are not good, so we didn't have any sound. And, you know, I don't know if you see, Mariana, do you see the picture of students?
Yes, we can see the students.
Great. So we didn't have sound, so we only had this, the screen, and they started writing. Do you see what they wrote? They wrote the other way around. I mean, they wrote so that they could see from the other side. I mean, that was fantastic. This is all on them. I mean, this is their idea. And if you can see here, one of them is holding the camera so that the other school that was in New Mexico could see whatever they were doing, and then they exchanged Instagram or all the way that they could be in touch. So that was a real mystery, Skype, because we didn't know what they were saying, and they didn't know what we were saying because of the sound problem. And they were fascinating. One of the girls that you see here, and they are smiling, and I have their permission to appear, to be on the internet. Well, she was one of the, she's no longer at school, and these were the only classes that she attended, because you see her smiling, and she is no longer at school because she's undergoing depression. This is another group, and I wanted to share with you all like a video they did on their own, to share with the other class in the United States. As we couldn't hear each other, they said, well, let's record videos, and we exchange videos with the other school. Then I think I'm done with this, and this is one of my last slides here. I try to teach, and I try to leave a message in my students. I want them to be happy, and I want to see that whatever we do in class, it's for their lives. It's not because they have to sit there and get a grade. Well, they do have to get a grade, but they want them to enjoy. That's it. That's all I can say.
All right, that was fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing your fantastic story with us, Fabiana. We really did appreciate that.
Did you play the video, Fabiana?
No.
Did you want to?
What do you think?
Yes, it's so exciting. It's you can tell their enthusiasm.
Yes.
Even with
Well,
music. And the fact
it
that they
won't
did
be.
it with their iPhones is and they did it on their own is great.
Yeah, because I said we have to share something with this school that had already they had already done a Spanish song. Now they did a song that it's in English by one of the singers. I don't know who she is. Call Me Maybe. That's the name of the song. But they lip synced it in Spanish, and it was fantastic. So look why my students did. If I ever get to find the they decided to do this. Do you still see what I have here? This is
Yes, you can see it.
excellent. Taylor Swift's Shake It Off. And they did all on their own. I didn't give any instruction.
And they did this for this to share in the mystery Skype to share with the kids in Mexico, right?
In New Mexico, in the States.
That is so. It shows like how motivating it is. You getting them to connect with another school. How motivating that is.
It really was, Shelley. It really was. And now that we went to the course book because of the regulations, they don't want us do anything. I mean, we used to. They found that more profitable than working on grammar or vocabulary every single day. Well, we cannot make a video all the time, and we cannot do a mystery Skype every single class. But I mean, exchange and talking to real people, that's what they want to do.
Yeah, exactly, and have the ability to be creative. We had some comments. We'll read you some of the comments from the chat wing.
Excellent.
And so
Well,
that way you can address some of the comments that they had. And I think that's, one of the great things about you is you share a real story about, and I think too many times I love I listen to TED Talks all the time and motivational speakers and things like that. But for me, the ones that move me the most, stories, and that's what I love about a conference like this, is you're in there and you're doing this and the things you have to get through and how you overcome them. And I think you're really great at that because you're always trying different things with your students and you're always getting them to do things even when you have so many obstacles. And I think that has a lot of power when other people see it.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, one of the, I mean, there are more obstacles that than things that go smoothly, that's the real truth. I mean, I'm not going to hide anything. I mean, we don't have much resources, and I always depend on whatever there is power and there's no power, internet, or they have the books or they don't. And if they want to do things, I mean, there isn't much I can do. I mean, I'm not a magician.
And some of them were asking if they could see if you could share the link But if I be honest, really good about protecting the students as well. And then some people are going to go look at mystery Skype that were interested before, and now they're really going to go look at it. Oh, and Judy is in here, so hopefully Judy got to hear you quote her.
Yes.
And Annabella says, yes, real problem solving, but with a real purpose. And Sylvia says that her 8-year-old is listening and miming your voice.
Aww.
Katerina says, superb idea. Maria Colosa says, wow, this isn't student engagement. Tell me what is.
Oh.
So you had a lot of really, really great comments. Meet Your Teacher says, a real story of how closely connected we can be with our PLN despite being scattered around the globe.
Yes. Well, I think that one of the, students here, we are Spanish speakers, and they are learning English. They have been learning English for more than 10 years. So what do you do with that language that you already know? Yeah, they are not so proficient, but they can communicate really well, and they have the opportunity to travel with their families. And here, they don't have any opportunity. So I said, I need to open the world to these kids now that we have this wonderful tool, internet and Mystery Skype, and they are doing things so easily for us. The thing is that you need to step on it. You need to step on and say, well, I'm going to do this, and I will take the time to prepare this and that. You see what I'm saying? Plan A and Plan B, just in case.
Yeah, definitely. So there's so many who agree with you, and you had really tons of comments. So I think you should definitely go in and go check all of this out.
Okay.
And thank you so much for doing this. You're amazing and wonderful, and I appreciate you being part of the 30 Goals so much.
I have to thank you.
I think we might be losing your sound.
Sorry?
Okay, there you go.
Here I am. Here I am. Oh, I'm going to stop screen sharing. Ah, here I am. Yes.
I
But
guess
where are we?
I can put myself on again.
That's what I wanted to say.
So the bandwidth wouldn't, and some of the bandwidth issues. But a big hug to you.
Me too. Kisses. Qué lindo.